Already clapped. We're rolling.
Oh, fuck.
Welcome to Memoir Leak.
Fucking the leaky fucking memoir of our lives. Today, we are sitting here at a wooden table talking about what? Video juegos. Is that any different than any other day? Fucking no. But, you know, that's how it fucking is, you know? So, what's your name?
My name's Benjamin. Lanky to Benjamin.
My name is, my name is, Geron. Donkey Kong 64 minigame music. Geron.
Damn.
And, what happened today? We got a new Nintendo Direct. Whoa!
Somebody made the comment that there have not been a ton of directs for specific games. They're very much dedicated for flagship titles.
Yeah. Mario Kart did just get one a couple weeks ago.
Mario Kart got one. Splatoon games got one. Mario
got one.
I think Odyssey got one.
Odyssey got one around when it was coming out back
Xenoblade 3
Xenoblade 3 got one.
Yeah. Is that it?
No. Other ones have gotten it too.
I feel like that's mostly it though. Mario Kart, Smash got one.
Smash got one.
Smash might have gotten two.
Plenty. Yeah, I think Smash Bros. Probably got. There's a bunch of games that have gotten them, but they're usually spaced far out. You usually don't get one like Mario Kart
like one a year
within a week.
It's usually one a year. I want to say.
Can I see that?
Pedro's gonna fucking kill you, dude.
I know.
You're gonna be clicking shit.
I just
and touching shit, kickstanding shit. What's wrong?
I was looking at it.
Why are you giving me eyebrows?
I'm just.
You're looking at it.
I'm just looking at
abuse?
it. Like, no, it's not abused.
What is it?
Nothing. There's nothing.
What's the judgment?
I'm just looking at it.
Say your words.
There's nothing fucking wrong with it. Oh, I forgot your little bitch that can't. A little bit of observation. Oh yeah, that's right. You're wearing that shirt in Cyberpunk.
That's right.
But look, okay, so we got a new.
We're 2 weeks out.
Yeah,
we already got a new flagship title.
Yeah,
boy, I'll tell you, if I wasn't excited for Donkey Kong before, I am locked up. I'm bricked to the max.
Dog, I'm telling you that whatever they showed the first time was like they should have just not even showed that. Should have just we got a new Donkey Kong coming. Just hold on for a minute because that shit people had like it's kind of nothing. And I'll admit that I was like, you know, I don't really know what this is. I'm sure we'll find out closer to the day.
That's weak shit.
But
anybody that had that reaction doesn't fucking like video games. They don't know what's up.
To the original initial reveal.
To the original reveal.
It's like you know,
see the deformation.
Cool. You see the deformation. It looks cool.
You see that shit. You're like, I can play with this.
Yeah.
You know. But now I watch this and I'm like, oh, this is a video game. Boys and girls.
What they showed today, I was like, oh, okay. The starting of it with the fucking
music,
with the fucking singing, music. I was like, okay. And then the what was it? The misdirection of the little purple guy, the odd rock, it's just fucking Pauline.
Yeah, just off the rip. They're like, yeah, it's Pauline.
Like, hey,
like the whole game you play it as Pauline. Like this is probably the opening cutscene.
It's literally something.
Which is kind of funny that they did it this way.
It's something they made to hide it.
Yeah,
like in the other trailers where you see the gameplay and he's running around with the rock nearby. It's like. Meant to be there, which I like because Odd Rock could have been a cool like new character, whatever. But I think it's more. I think something hits a little bit harder with it being like young Pauline.
It's cool. It's good shit. Yeah. It ties it back to his roots.
It ties it back to that.
It ties him to Odyssey. Yeah. It ties him to the Mario franchise as a whole.
I was gonna say this Donkey Kong game is probably the most Mario that any of them have been.
%. So down to a bunch of things, to the fact that this is clearly an evolution of getting to, spoiler alert, play as Bowser in Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Like this pretty similar type of mechanics of what they were going for. And like, oh yeah, let's just make a whole ass game
out of you riding the big monstrous character from this or that.
Yeah, exactly. And just tearing shit up.
And like, the doing things that this character can do that Mario could not do.
Right.
That Pauline could not do.
Right.
So most of the other,
but it's still very like Mario coded. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of the UI, a lot of the rhythm of the game is very much like Mario Odyssey, which adds up because if I understand, a lot of that team got put on Mario after they did Donkey Kong Jungle Beat anyway. So
Yeah, it makes sense.
And when I didn't even think about this until then, but Donkey Kong Jungle Beat does seem to have a place in the design here with the punching.
You know, I've never played Donkey Kong Jungle Beat.
You should play Jungle
I've never
Beat.
played any of the GameCube games.
If you can find
Is that one of the ones where you need the fucking congos?
Bongos, yeah.
Do you have it?
I don't have the bongos anymore.
Do I need to fucking
scalp
what you need of collectors?
Do is you need to ask Wii, because I think he has all that.
He has the bongos?
I borrowed the game from him, and I believe he has the bongos.
That's funny as shit.
I had bongos that were marked as E3.
I will look up
I don't have
how much they're going for eBay.
They're probably not expensive.
What was the other one? King of Swing? Well, that was GBA, right?
Fans. You're thinking of there's Donkey Konga.
Donkey Konga.
That's the rhythm game.
Okay.
Donkey Kong Jungle Beat is the platform.
Okay, but the Jungle Beat's still required?
Jungle Beat,
did it come with the Kongos?
I don't think it required.
I thought the Kongos were specifically the rhythm game.
They came with Donkey Konga, but the bongos came with. I think you could get an edition that came with Jungle Beat instead. Yeah. And there's a Wii version of Jungle Beat that you can.
For whatever reason,
Wii version you can use
maybe because none of these games were fucking platformers, or at least traditional platformers, I didn't play any Donkey Kong after 64 until we got to Tropical Freeze.
Interesting. Until it came back to like. Did you not even play Returns when that came out?
I touched Returns, never owned Returns. I didn't beat it until I had it on 3DS.
I had it on 3DS. I didn't beat it until 3DS, but I do have it on Wii.
Yeah, I don't think I ever owned it on Wii. Because with Wii, it was all the motion control shit.
That's why I didn't finish it.
I'm just I'm not fucking
kind of
doing with
it. There's no way to get. There's no way to like not have it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like it's never gonna feel right to roll.
I was I was off the teat, so to speak. But I feel like the GBA games were serviceable, but they all just felt like lesser games with a lesser identity to them.
The GBA games all felt like
they felt like what they're doing with Yoshi now, which is like, well, it can't be a platformer because we already have one of those. Yeah. Same thing with like Mario RPG. It's like, well, Mario and Luigi can't be like Paper Mario, so Paper Mario has to be not an RPG anymore.
Right. They're just trying to avoid as much redundancy as possible. And this time, they obviously did that by saying, hey, Mario, no platformer this time. You get Mario Kart. But then they did the platformer with this. And I mean, who's
to say that there won't be a 3D Mario game in a couple years?
There probably will be. Yeah. I think having an opportunity for a game like this to exist is really good. Especially when you can play Odyssey on Switch.
It's good as shit. They need to give Yoshi this treatment.
Yeah,
I would love for Yoshi to get like a real game. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Like, I wonder what a 3D.
I think Woolly World. Did you play Woolly World?
I played a little bit of it.
Woolly World was pretty good.
Yeah,
I think Woolly World was the best of what we've seen.
Yeah,
since probably Yoshi's Island DS.
Yoshi's Island DS. Okay, I didn't even know that one was all right.
It's a game. Okay. You know, it's more of a game than all the other ones.
Yeah,
it's definitely more of a game than Yoshi's New Island.
Yeah,
because holy fuck, that is the most brain dead nothing game I've played in a long time. More than any of the brain dead easy Kirby games.
Yeah,
that game had no soul in it at all.
It looks like it has none of it. Like even like the art style with the 3D graphics plus the stuff going on. It's like
it's really sad.
The game, the last like Yoshi game I played was Yoshi's Story.
And even that is
that's like Goo Goo Gaga baby game now.
It's Goo Goo Gaga. Fun, I at least appreciate that it has an identity to it and it's playable.
And there's a reason why the music and all that is from that game is still
survived so long.
Yeah, in other
I mean, it's in World Tour.
There's a lot of it. It's in Mario Kart Tour. It's in
World Tour. Kart World.
Yeah. Did I call it Mario Kart Tour after you said that? Mario Kart World. Yeah.
I don't know. I get confused every time people say World because I keep thinking Super Mario World.
Yeah, and that's probably on purpose.
I'm sure it is.
I believe. But I feel like that
keeps like messing with my brain in terms of what like the actual name of the game is.
Because this is the Super Nintendo Switch, a Mario World kind of game to go with it.
But we're not talking about Yoshi. We're talking about Donkey Kong.
I like the weight distribution of this fucking thing a lot.
Because you don't fucking use it handheld.
I really don't use it handheld, but like
it's good.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell it's heavier. Yeah. When I'm in bed and I'm holding it up like this, after like a good 30 minutes,
you start to get
I do feel it.
You mind if I turn it off for a bit?
Do whatever you want. It's a toy to be played with. It's not as heavy as Steam Deck. It's not as clunky as Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Probably not slightly less ergonomic compared to Steam Deck. Although I think the buttons are Steam Deck. People talk about the Steam Deck feeling nicer. Do whatever you want to do. The buttons on Steam Deck don't feel premium. Mm-hmm. Just straight up, they feel cheap.
Yeah,
they feel cheap. They feel like they weren't machined to the degree of precision that they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
They feel
that
loose,
wobbly
loose in their socket.
That the fucking the Wii U had.
Yep. Yeah. It's exactly the same thing. It's got loose feeling triggers. The shoulder buttons don't feel good to use.
Yeah.
Which I'm really glad they improved with the Switch too. I think the shoulder, the RB, whatever you want to call it, LBRB, the bumpers,
the LNR,
LNR. I guess they just call it regular LNR.
Yeah.
Are way more enjoyable to touch and use compared to the original Switch.
These buttons are these LNR one. God damn it, I did it myself. These two buttons do feel a lot better. They feel better than like in some cases they feel more responsive than the ZL buttons because of the little click, and you can press them anywhere and they work. They wanted to make sure the mouse the mouse controls worked right.
Yeah, from the top.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a benefit for this these new platformers coming out too.
Yeah,
like it'll be more viable to enjoy them this way.
Yeah, exactly.
But back to Donkey Kong straight up.
Yes.
How do you feel? Because I know you have more of an affinity for Donkey Kong than I do. Not that I don't like Donkey Kong.
I've told this story. But I'll start with 3D Donkey Kong. So I think I've told this story, but 5th grade Christmas.
Yeah.
My parents and I were at it was the number one thing that was on my Christmas list. Mm-hmm. And I asked for it, and I just kind of knew I was gonna get it. I can't remember if it was the way we talked about it, or I saw wrapped presents somewhere hidden away.
That's usually how it goes with that.
I can't remember, but I knew I was getting it.
Yeah.
And so I think it was late November or something. We were in the grocery store when they had magazines for sale and shit, and they had the Donkey Kong Player's Guide.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm gonna buy this.
Donkey Kong, you're talking 64.
64. Yeah. They had the official Nintendo Player's Guide. I was like, I'm gonna buy this. They're like, why are you buying that? And I was like, because
I know I'm getting it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get this. And then they were like, when I finally opened it, I was like, now I can use the Player's Guide. They're like, how'd you know you're gonna get this video game?
Is that what your family sounds like?
No, that's not at all what my family sounds.
Okay, I was like, what the fuck?
Putting on an accent.
I met your brother.
Yeah, you did meet my brother. Yeah. But I liked Donkey Kong 64 when I first played through it, probably because I was a small child that didn't know any better.
I mean, it was the novelty of playing it, something new, and
I think I liked the presentation of it, the colors, the characters, the humorous elements that Rare was known for.
The very European
British style humor. Yeah, I thought it felt good. I replayed it on Wii U, and I was like, this tastes bad. This tastes sour.
Something about this is not
just the physics don't feel good. Yeah. There's very little precision. There's wacky collision. There's mini games that feel like fucking dog shit.
That's real.
It's and the character switching is tedious.
The character switching is very tedious.
That's something that you have the patience for as a child, just playing over the weekend, but
because you don't have other shit to do.
Exactly,
you don't have other shit you have to do.
Yeah,
outside homework, I guess. And that game came out when we were 9. So when you're 9, you don't have anything going on. This is your whole world for a couple of months,
Yeah.
So
I was super excited because I loved platformers. I loved all 3 Donkey Kong country games. I loved 2, even though I never beat it because it was too fucking hard. I never owned 2 or 3, I think.
I didn't know
that. I only rented them. And every time I rented, I would get up through middle of the second world in the lava area, and I'd just be like, this game's so hard.
Jesus. I did not know that.
Yeah, my shit would get overwritten every single time.
Because you'd have to return it and come back.
But I would do the thing where I looked at the box, I looked at the serial number, and I knew the last 3 digits. I was like, this is the copy. Yeah. So I knew all the techniques to try to do my best.
Get your shit back.
People rent it. Anyway, I've beaten that game multiple times at this point. I love that game. I think that's my favorite Donkey Kong game.
2?
As much as I have a strong nostalgia for 1.
Yeah.
I think 2 has more variety. I think the difficulty lends itself to them being able to do more interesting stuff with the game.
Yeah, that's real.
And I think it's great.
I think I do think that Donkey Kong Country 1 is a more tightly designed game.
I agree.
But I also think that it just has less going on. It's more...
Yeah, it's kind of like Breath of the Wild versus Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, it's easier for me to replay that game.
Right.
It's easier for me to recommend that game as a place to start, for sure.
Well, that's definitely true.
And that's, but then it's like, oh, if you want more, which you will,
one is the perfect
2.
sort of like gateway drug into the wider platforming genre.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, but it's all very fair. It's
very fair. It's not... That game is not a... Like, there, obviously with mini games from that time, there's some bullshit, but that game doesn't have copious amounts of it, and it doesn't feel like it's wasting your time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty short.
Yeah.
Nothing feels, it doesn't feel unfair. Everything's very intentionally designed. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like you're getting cheaped out of deaths or anything like that.
Like, I don't like saying a game's wasting time, because a game is about wasting time. You know what I mean? It's about utilizing your time. But sometimes you only have so much time to enjoy a game, and you want it to be as enjoyable as possible for as much of that time as possible. And that game keeps you, like, you die, you just get to jump back in.
Right.
Country 2 sometimes does a thing with checkpoints might be too far apart.
They do feel, the levels feel longer.
Especially in the more gimmicky levels. Can I fuck with this?
Do whatever you want.
In some of the more gimmicky levels, you just like, could we
exactly
move it along?
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But that's also why I think 1 is such a good gateway drug, because once you're in it, like, you kind of want to do it.
Yeah,
you want those challenges. You're like, I can fucking do this. Like, give me one more try. I can fucking get this.
And it never asks you to do something that you haven't, like, that you don't understand how to do.
Right. You know kind of what it's asking.
There's like, everything basically has a
the language
set of rules. Good. Yeah.
Love Donkey Kong Country 2. Love Donkey Kong games. I would like to go back and replay some of these ones I missed, like GameCube and GBA. Hope they add these motherfuckers to NSO.
I'm surprised they didn't just kind of pour them out for this. Damn, this forest really is 60 frames.
It's popping. Yeah. It's popping. I just got there because I needed to dump my Korok seeds. But the N64 Donkey Kong game, now that Rare has dumped shit like fucking GoldenEye, like there's no, they gotta get the DK64.
It's like just
but like it's now at a weird timing where it's like I think it would be counter to Nintendo's philosophy for them to drop it anytime in the next 3 months. Because they would see it as cannibalizing
the new game that's
like,
coming out.
Well, some people that just have nostalgia might just play the N64 game for free.
And
quote unquote
for free, for as part of the service they already are paying for. And I think like, it'd be really cool of them to just rip off the band. I'm sure, but I also get the impression that they might be like, people might get the wrong impression of what the new game is like, because they'll play this and it's like, this isn't actually...
It's a completely different kind of game.
Yeah, this isn't really that kind of game.
Well,
so
I mean, we can start getting into the trailer. So
yeah.
I'm going to start off with the 2 things that give me hesitation from the trailer, and then I'm just going to go through the trailer and talk about all the things I like.
Go for it.
The 2 things that give me pause, going back to what you said about this isn't that kind of game.
Yeah.
One of the things that really stuck out to me as part of the trailer is how much stuff there is to collect.
Yeah, and that's honestly, I feel like a very Donkey Kong thing at this point. But
what do you mean by that?
Donkey Kong now, because of 64 and with country games kind of having it, they have just a reputation of having shit to collect, especially 64. But
64, yes. I mean, the original games, the original games are basically Super Mario World. Like, you got your bananas for your coins.
Right.
You got your Kong letters.
Yeah.
Which are like your Yoshi coins.
Yeah, I'm not saying Mario doesn't have shit to collect either. Clearly.
No, I know, but
it's just like,
when you say specifically Donkey Kong,
I
mean, 64 is what I think of, right? So when we're talking about not being that kind of game, 64 is like, there's tons of shit to get. And this game is like, you got the banana chips, you got regular bananas, you got banana gems, you got gold, right? Like, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
Like, it almost feels like a mobile game inspired economy here,
where you're picking up different gems and different
gems for different things, and some of them convert into other ones. It's like, oh, you could use Bananium into gold, and then use gold to buy your outfits.
Ass, and then like, ass and pants, and then pants and assless chaps, and then yeah.
So that was one thing that I was just like, I don't know how I feel about it. That's kind of weird. I'm sure it's fine within the context of the game.
The way I imagine it is the way with the way the gameplay and the destruction works, especially, that you'll kind of naturally just pick up the gold.
Yeah, I'm not worried about having to look for anything.
Yeah.
It's just like from a mental load perspective of things I'm paying attention to.
Yeah.
There's more things than I'm accustomed to being asked for in these platformers, even collectathons.
Okay.
So that was one thing. The other thing was, going back to what you said about it looks like the most Mario of the games is clearly inspired by Odyssey.
Right.
Parts of the trailer, and again, this is probably, I think this Mario Kart World had the same issue to a degree, just visually looking at it rather than playing it yourself.
Yeah.
It looks almost like a little bit slow in places. Like where where they were like chaining their shit together, they were doing the roll into the jump and the whatever. And just like something about it felt slightly sluggish to me.
Interesting.
And part of it might just be the design language of like how you interact with things and like knowing what options you have at what point in time, and not like feeling like it's spinning out of control. And it's more like you're very clunky and like you're big and strong.
Very rigid in a way.
Yeah. Like a rigidity,
not rigid in
to
a bad way, but it does have a rigidity to it.
Right. To being a big, dumb ape, right?
Yeah.
Which is probably, again, it's probably fine in the context of the game. It probably plays and feels great. It probably doesn't have this issue at all, but just the speed at which the gameplay looked like it was running at compared to like the scale of the world just looked a little sluggish. So not really much of a concern, just two of the more airing negative observations
you have with the trailer so far. Yeah.
Now
or what they've shown so far. I mean,
now going through all the shit that I really fucking like. Obviously, what we talk about with Pauline is fucking cool.
Yeah,
it's cool shit to connect it. I wonder if they're going to do that thing where at the end of the game you're in a construction zone and you're with Pauline and you're protecting her from a scary fucking Italian man.
Crazy Italian man with a hammer. It's like, what the fuck?
I think it'd be really funny if they do that. It'd be really cool if they connect that to whatever the next 3D Mario game is.
My thought is that it's going to end in a fucking misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Where Mario's like, yo, what the fuck's going on there? Let me go. And then it explains why Mario's the villain in Donkey Kong.
Exactly.
Donkey Kong
it connects it all back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Next thing I really liked was how you're underground for the whole thing, and it makes it feel like Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yeah, that's cool. That's one of the coolest
elements
about it.
Of it. Like you're not just going island to island again. You're not just like in a standard world. Like you're in a subterranean labyrinth that all these things are taking place in, and it feels like a connection to King Kong because of that. Like old mythology King Kong, which is really fucking cool to me, right? It adds almost like austerity to it. It gives it like this clout kind of almost, subconscious legitimacy.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool choice.
A lot of the things in this, speaking of bringing together stuff like that, it does do the thing where it's taking pieces from everything that Donkey Kong has been, and stuff that it's inspired, like the series is inspired by, giving them the little bit of a twist they need to match all in this one game. Like, even just having the little bit of the DK rap, and that's
the music was going to be my next thing.
Yeah, that's
the
like
music is so tight.
Yeah,
they clearly showed music from like all of the main series. That people like.
And there's obvious stuff from Country. There's obvious stuff from 64. But then, like I mentioned earlier, when they were showing the amiibo, the amiibo functionality, they played one of the bonus game music tracks from Donkey Kong 64. I was like, that's the stupidest nothing pull that they could have had here. But obviously they decided it fit. In doing so, they in the recent past, I was like, they're probably kind of just trying to cut the rare stuff out.
Yeah, no, this is
not have to rely on it. But this
is much more. They're doing what they did with the first Switch with a lot of like new entries and franchises where they're using it as an opportunity to celebrate the whole history of the franchise.
Right.
Like they did it with Metroid, they did it with Super Smash Brothers, they
Yeah,
did it
Smash
with
Bros, Mario Odyssey.
They did it with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, granted, they actually did start doing it with Mario Kart with the DLC.
Yeah,
because that
like that's
from a
been
lot of
very
history
much
from Mario
their
Kart.
thing.
Yeah,
which is it's fun. It's cool. I think it helps them to like bridge the generations.
That's what I was going to say. They want people coming on to these series from Switch to have a look at what the whole series has been, and then like what new things that it could be moving toward, while still bringing it all together in one. Like they want on Switch and Switch 2, by extension, they want everything to be a culmination, especially because that's kind of what the consoles are. They're a culmination of the console and handheld sides.
Yep.
And you're getting a lot of games that pick from both of those, whether it's Mario Kart, whether it's Zelda, whether it's Donkey Kong in this case.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's fucking working out. Like,
for sure.
For a lot of these games, at least for the sake of
they have not really had.
It's like, damn, this is.
They haven't really had a limp release in a while from their first party studios.
From these big their bigger IP. Then they've just been right,
Yeah.
And this game, like I said, not that I was lukewarm on it. I know a lot of people were when they first showed it, but I didn't really. It wasn't my anticipated game. I was just like, this is gonna be cool. And I'm gonna give it a rip. But now I'm like, oh shit, I need to pre-order this and all that now, because it's they're really going in on stuff that that I'm looking for in a game, and they're doing it with Donkey Kong this time, which they haven't done in years.
Basically ever. Not to this degree.
Right, like they brought back 2D Donkey Kong from Retro Studios, and that was cool.
God damn, but, the 2D segments with the mine carts, it's like,
oh yeah,
everyone knows about the mine carts, and they of course had to bring it in, which is good.
Like
it's good shit.
To some people, Donkey Kong is Donkey Kong Country, and they're making sure they acknowledge that, which is great. This is fucking excellent fucking news.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the Donkey Kong Country stuff, and then making sure to touch on the original history of the character with Pauline.
Yep, and they had some of the music from the original Donkey
music.
Kong.
I mean, even the lyrical music has is given the motif of.
Yeah, by the way, at the end of the trailer, I was like, oh shit, we've got lyrics to the original Donkey Kong.
Yeah, like the fucking.
It's really funny.
It's like, what the fuck? It's great to use that again, because Donkey Kong Country kind of took that track and gave it like a an energized hip hop spin kind of thing. And this has now
a Mario Odyssey,
a Mario Odyssey like Disney movie kind of feel to it, and that's kind of where Nintendo is moving toward, like Disney style of thing. Mario Odyssey had a lot of that
of video games,
yeah, and then they have the theme parks and the Universal and all that. Now, this game has more of the like animated movie kind of thing going on with
Pixar.
It. Yeah, with the
video game Pixar.
Right. Like the way Donkey Kong looks and moves, the way the world looks, the way the characters are presented.
Speaking of the way he looks and moves, it makes so much sense that they had to rebrand him.
Redesign him.
Yeah. Like, he's so much more expressive. He's more expressive than fucking Mario's ever been.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
He's such a cool character now.
And I think the Donkey Kong, the rare Donkey Kong was still using things that were designed under the limitations of like 1993 with the CG stuff.
Yeah.
So he was a little bit more stiff. Not that he wasn't expressive, but when he would do things like show teeth and shit like that, it was creepy.
Yeah, it was weird. It was unsettling, uncanny.
And so now we have one that's a little bit more elastic, a little more plastic, a little bit
more human.
Yeah, a little bit more human and a little less threatening.
Right.
Because he's more
he's more of a cuddly little monkey guy.
Exactly. Yeah, he's more of a hee hee ha ha, even though he's big and has like crazy transformations and obviously can destroy, can like rip your fucking skin off your face. He looks like someone you could like, he looks like someone you could hang out with.
Right.
In the context of a fictional fucking animal.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mechanics, again, they showed a little bit of it in the first trailer, but now really kind of showcasing off his moveset. Super fucking excited. The freedom of movement, freedom of like combining like an action game with like the interactions with the environment is really fucking cool. Like, skill trees really caught me off guard.
Skill trees caught me off guard.
I was like, that's pretty fucking crazy.
I wonder if they're going to set up a situation where you can get everything on the skill tree, or each playthrough you kind of have to commit to a certain path. They're not going to do that. But I like to see something like that.
They're definitely not going to do that. There's no fucking chance they're going to do that.
They're going to make sure you can get everything in the same run. But the there's just there's something about it having a skill tree which does make me think they're taking the because 3D Mario games traditionally are kind of easy once you understand how to play them.
Mm-hmm.
And this, a lot of Donkey Kong games have a reputation for being kind of difficult.
Yeah.
The 2D ones specifically.
Right.
And I wonder if they're going to lean a bit into that.
All the 2D ones,
all the
Tropical Freeze.
The 3D one, the
one 3D one.
Donkey Kong 64 has a reputation for being tedious and kind of frustrating to play in a not flattering way.
Yeah, it's hard in a way that makes you want to fucking tear your hair out.
You want to get through it because you never want to see it again.
Yeah.
Whereas I think this would be a more balanced difficulty or it could be a more balanced difficulty where you can make it as hard or as easy as you want.
Yeah.
Like use assist mode, your leveling up could affect the difficulty, or you can have a second player pick up
I do hope they lean into it being a harder version of Mario, like a harder platforming experience.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe a little more actiony.
Yeah.
Whereas Odyssey and Mario games can stay as sort of like the baseline.
Like this might be your first game
for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, platforming, but this can be a little bit more challenging.
I think there's a reason why they didn't lead with this game on the console, why your pack-in was Mario Kart. Yeah. Because that's definitely the everybody can play kind of game. Yeah. Despite this game kind of being a little harder to win. I'll say that.
Maybe.
It's a little bit more chaotic, so it's
more chaotic.
It's more difficult to control your results.
That is true.
And like Mario Kart 8, once you're good at it, you're good at it.
But yeah, I mean, the inability to control your results is also, it goes both ways.
Yeah, exactly. That means
you always have a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the way the game distributes power-up, I'm talking about Mario Kart right now.
Yeah, it's
the way the game distributes power-ups is very, very clearly meant to prevent people from falling so far, dominating and falling so far behind that they feel like they have no chance. Because a lot of times, you can box out to 24th, and then show up in 3rd.
Yeah,
at that very last second.
They were definitely scared of people being able to use the new mechanics
and just completely
dominate.
Just run anybody else who wasn't using them ragged.
Exactly.
So, which is I agree with it in a philosophical way, but on the other hand, it's like I guess some of the opportunities I'm taking to use these crazy mechanics are better off in a time trial than they are in a situation where someone's going to hit me.
Yeah, which is where I actually think it's good. I think it's healthy for the game. I think it's fine to stick that to the time trial. Let the let the competitive speed running type community leave it to that mode. You know what I mean? I think exactly to what you were saying, like Mario Kart 8 did start to stratify its players.
Right. Yeah. Once someone got good in that game, you couldn't catch up. And I don't want to toot my own fucking horn, but I would play the game with people on like Twitch and shit like that. And people would be like, oh shit, he's one of those dudes that when he shows up, it's over for some of us.
Exactly.
We're fighting for second place and down.
Yeah, and then everyone's using the same fucking card, the same character.
I hate that.
I really don't like that.
I don't like.
I'm sure Nintendo fucking hates that too.
Nintendo definitely hates it, and they would hate it if it happened in this game, which they created.
Yeah.
They created a situation
it's why they moved away from Melee's design to what we have with Ultimate, right? Like they want the game to be more balanced, right? Balanced for people that are worse.
And in some cases, that means a lot of the things in them are homogenized.
Right.
Like in this game, the stats mean something. In Mario Kart, the stats mean something, but they're not so. It's not as like a big an effect as Mario Kart 8, where it's like there is a best build, and you cannot deviate. If you deviate, you're handicapping yourself for whatever reason.
That shit sucks so bad.
Yeah. But in this game, speaking of stats, because there's a
skill tree. There's a
skill tree. I know this isn't a multiplayer game, but you can also, like I said, you can create a situation where players are playing differently because of this or that. Like, there's definitely going to be level 1 runs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I like that, especially in a single player game.
It'll be cool to. Well, I hope to see that it changes how you have to approach. Maybe not even have to, but how you can approach.
Yeah.
Especially the earlier levels, we're going to be a little bit more limited. You got more limited points to use.
Right.
If you invest over here and get these skills, what does it mean versus going over here and doing this, right?
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see. I wonder if, or I hope it also means like good replayability.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
Is going to be interesting instead of just kind of flying through it the same way every time.
If this is like Odyssey, like when you know how to play Odyssey, you can efficiently blast through the main portion of the game in like 3
Yeah.
4 hours. And maybe, less if you're a speedrunner, of course. But this game, I think, is probably going to get that situation too. So when you know what you're going to use, you can plan out a build that makes it so you can get to the end as fast as possible, or get 100% as fast as possible. Or, this or that.
Moving right along.
Yeah.
To the sort of like the characters.
Yeah.
And the transformations.
The transformations
are really cool.
Yeah, the transformations I can't believe. They look
fucking rhino, fucking zebra, which I think is from the Safari Lands in Tropical Freeze. It feels like that's the only place I remember a zebra showing up.
Yeah, I think the zebra in general is just like a new
animal to go along with. Yeah, other jungle animals.
Yeah, the idea of the transformations is great because you have them all at your disposal, like on the D-pad. You just select them.
Yeah,
and then you can transform as much as you want based on the meter that you have, and you're still just playing Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
you're not losing parts of your move set because
right.
you have to switch a character, which is something that Donkey Kong 64 did not do for you.
Exactly.
The way they look, the way they move, I think
so
it's
much
really
style.
Nice.
Like the music going off while it's happening, like augmented, kind of like when you get on Yoshi.
Yeah,
and it adds the drum beat,
drums,
but like on steroids. Like it's got the singing, it's got the extra bass. Like it's so much style.
Nice.
It's so nice.
Everything about the game is it feels like this is what's going on with these games on Switch too. Is that they're all high energy. They're all about just making you feel good about playing them. And I think that's really good for a Nintendo game specifically.
Yeah,
like we can get Nintendo games that make you feel that fuck you up. Like there's the Xenoblade, there's all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I hope Metroid Prime 4 can maintain a sort of energy to it.
Yeah.
That
the solitude, the darkness.
The solitude, the darkness, but still has the what feels like a forward momentum. Like the whole Silex thing being in that game and all that. I wonder what they're gonna do with the time.
Yeah.
So, and I wonder if that game's going to get a direct before it comes out, because I feel like that game's right for it, but also they'd want to keep a lot of stuff close to the chest too.
I mean, we also have there's still a lot of games coming out that we don't even have release dates for this year.
Yeah.
Like the Elden Ring Tarnished Edition, no release date.
I'm surprised that
Prime 4, no release date.
Prime 4 has no release date, and that's coming out on Switch 1 too. So that's an interesting situation.
Yeah, we still got fucking big expansions for Switch 2 versions like Kirby and Mario Party coming out next month.
Yeah,
August.
Mario Party comes out next month.
Mario Party comes out a week after Donkey Kong. Yeah. Kirby comes out in August. And I really want to try the Mario Party Jamboree update. I've got the camera.
You've got the camera. I want to see if it'll be something that makes me want to buy the game so I can play online with everybody.
I wonder, and they might have actually already updated it, but I wonder if it has game share.
I don't think it does yet.
Okay.
If it's going to get game share, it doesn't have it now.
It'd be cool for it to get game share.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful. I also think they'd be very conscious of games that require reactions and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because it's still streaming.
Right, yeah.
It's decent streaming, but it's
limited.
better for stuff that's slower and easier.
Yeah.
Like Clubhouse games and
that's
using
true.
Cappy and all that kind of shit.
Speaking of game share, cool as shit that this game has a 2-player mode, and it's a 2-player mode that seems less neutered compared to Mario Galaxy, Mario Odyssey, the like.
And it seems like it mixes things from Odyssey and Galaxy, from having the pointer controls being the mouse control. And
pointer controls, you can use mouse controls, and she shoots her singing words,
which is really funny.
It looks cool, and it's actually like a unique thing to her as a character. Yeah. It's not just like using the star bits, the same star bits you could use as the other player
uses. Yeah. So they have the materials and shit. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like there's mechanics in that you won't get as a single player.
Exactly. So I think it's nice to add more flavor to that, to actually incentivize people wanting to engage with it.
Yeah.
Because it just felt like a worse experience to play with two people in Odyssey and Galaxy.
It feels like those felt like they're made for like little brother or child,
which they were 100%. Yeah. But I could actually see myself being like, let me play with you.
Let me play Pauline. Yeah, let me do the Pauline shit. Yeah. I think it'd be especially for people that either don't have the game or are just not interested in playing the game normally, but still want to see it and they can experience it. They can still
game share it over to somebody.
Yeah, and that's online
on Switch 1.
Yeah, you hand it. And I think that makes me think of a point that I was thinking of earlier, where Switch 1 is almost becoming like an accessory to Switch 2.
Which is good. I mean, you're not throwing it in the trash. You're not throwing it in the trash.
I mean, maybe you have multiple. It's like, oh shit. But if you only have your one, then it's then you give it to another player and they have a whole screen to themselves. They have a whole set of controls to themselves.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh, okay, that's great. It works.
It's a good reuse of their technology.
Yeah, like the hardware is.
It gives it new life
in the ecosystem. It's not just It's not just get rid of it.
Right.
Which I think is really good when there's 150 million. You know what I mean?
Sony's known that this is a thing, right? They've made the PS4 have a PS5 remote play, shit like that.
Yeah, Sony has been good with that. In fact, Microsoft had been pretty good about that too, without people really mentioning it. Like some cloud games that were for the newer system, you can play on Xbox One via streaming.
Yeah.
So if you really wanted to hang on to your old console, it's not completely. It's out of date in a lot of ways, but it's not completely useless.
Right.
You know?
There's still function to it.
Like you might not want to use it exclusively, but you can still bridge the gap between it and the new generation.
Exactly. One of the shop owners looked like Diddy. Was it Diddy?
Diddy is in the game,
like clapping his hands with the hat on. Do you know what I'm talking about? He looked like a mechanic or something.
Oh, because there's a bunch of little mechanics in the game.
Yeah, there's a bunch of little Diddy-looking characters.
Yeah, they showed that in the first trailer when they revealed the system.
They?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you say Diddy is in the game?
Diddy's in the game. Have you watched the trailer?
I watched this.
Okay, so at the end of it, or when they show the amiibo, there's a little race with Do you see him racing on Randy? And the two characters that are racing in front of him are Diddy and Dixie.
Oh shit!
I
did not see that.
Yeah, they're totally in the game.
That's fucking good as hell. Diddy and Dixie?
Diddy and Dixie, they're riding together.
Let's fucking go.
I was afraid they were. That was one of those things I was afraid.
Is it part of the main game though, or is that kind of like an alternate?
Part of the main game. It's totally part of the
game. Hell yeah, dude.
I was wondering if they were going to cut them,
just completely out.
Cut them out, because I was afraid they were going to cut out all the rare shit.
All the rare shit, yeah.
But no, they're there, and I think they showed them this way.
I saw the Kong letters. Where the fuck was the
fucking piece headed?
I completely missed this.
Maybe it's not right. Yeah, keep an eye out. I don't
remember exactly. Keep going though.
But having them there, they might have a bigger role in the game than just a little cameo. You know what I mean? Obviously, they're not going to be playable, but if they are, that'd be a great surprise.
Oh shit! There we go.
Yep, there.
What the frick?
So,
God damn.
Clearly, all this shit is relevant, and I think. I also think this might not be in the same canon as the country games,
which is fine.
Which is great, actually. I think a fresh start to all of this would be.
I mean, it's very Nintendo to not be like, oh, well, we have to pay attention to the canon.
Yeah, in fact,
with Zelda, with fucking Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, they're like, don't worry, don't think too hard.
Right. When they did start respecting the canon, they're like, we
fucked up.
We regret this. So like that.
Give a mouse a cookie.
Yeah,
take a fucking inch
for real. Like listening to people at MagFest argue about that Hyrule Historia. I was like, dude, y'all,
right here.
Yeah, all of them are there. I have them too. They're in a nice plastic bin. It's just like, man, it's for the entertainment of it, but the timeline, they changed the Zelda timeline after the fact anyway. They changed it between the books.
Yeah,
it's like just enjoy it as a way to kind of string them together, but also realize they're tipping that shit on its head.
Don't fucking interpret it like a religious text.
Yeah, like there's no this isn't fucking Lord of the Rings. There isn't some shit.
Just fucking relax. You just need to relax when it comes to canon.
And in fact, I think a lot of things when it comes to video games, I've said this before, people just need to relax. They're meant to be played.
Video games does things to people.
It does.
I don't really get
crazy
it.
Shit to people.
It's crazy, dude. So does Star Wars, though, I guess.
I think the unique thing with games is that participation aspect, and
whips people like motherfuckers into a frenzy.
Like, of course, if someone tells you that the game that you've been playing for thousands of hours, like giving thousands of your hours of your life to, is like not good, someone's going to be
there's
the opposite.
There's a crisis of identity.
And then there's the opposite where it's like, I couldn't get into that thing, so it must be dog shit. Like, no, not really.
Yeah.
like, oh, they're doing something. That company is doing something I don't like. No, they're not trying to hurt you. They're trying to help themselves. And you can choose not to.
Like all the shit with like the MIG bricking people that put their Switch 2 online. They're like, this is unethical.
I was like, bro, are you serious? You know what you're doing. Just the only thing you got to say is like, fuck. Maybe I should have waited to find out.
So I'm just gonna say there are a lot of game preservationists out there.
Yeah, for
a lot of people concerned with game preservation these days.
A lot of people really concerned about it, especially
new games
when those games are new, especially when those games are clearly popular as shit.
Yeah,
especially when those games are widely available. But no, it's. I understand the concerns with being able to preserve your library. I think
I understand the concerns, but it's also like, again, it goes back to the fact that like video games are toys first.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I think somebody made a post talking about like in this long thread talking about the MIG and the Switch 2 bricky their thing, game preservation, et cetera, et cetera. And somebody's like, well, what if I want to play Xenosaga 2? It's like, go buy a PS. Should I have to spend $500 to play Xenosaga 2? It's like, dog. You just have to move on. I'm not going out and trying to play with the 1993 model of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fucking, ninja truck or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
It's
okay for things to.
It's okay for things to just kind of go.
Yeah.
Somebody played it. Somebody has the experience. That's not gone.
Is there a wistful feeling of acknowledgement of the passage of time and things fading into nothingness? Sure. In Japanese, we call it mono no aware. The impermanence of things.
Yeah.
But like if you have a way of preserving your own shit,
if you know how to do it,
go ahead and do it. I'm not stopping you. I think it's great.
Just keep it within reason. You're not a hero for doing it, and you need to be like, of course, this company is not like Nintendo, Sony, whoever are not going to like you making unauthorized copies of the games. You have to know that so that when you do it, you can prevent yourself from being affected by it. If that means buying a second Switch 2, so fucking be it. If that means you have to, you only play the games on PC to utilize them, whatever. Just, oh my God.
Yeah.
Just stop being weird.
Yeah. You just people just gotta like learn to let go. You are not owed the ability to play any video game at any point in time, even if you have the money to pay for it.
Right.
You are not owed that. You are not entitled to that ability.
In a wonderful dream world, you could select any game you want, have instant access to it.
Maybe that's what heaven's like.
Affordable access to it. And heaven is just pitch blackness. If there is a heaven, it has no video games. Thank fuck. Because everyone up there living forever would be so insufferable.
Yeah. Like that leech will get out of your brain finally.
But yeah.
Just some final things that we haven't mentioned yet. The costumes are great.
The outfits, awesome. The fur colors, great. The Pauline getting clothes too, that's cool as shit. And it was obvious, but like an obvious decision to make. But that she can have clothing independent of what DK has. Yeah. Wonderful. That better be the case, especially when DK has an outfit that's just called naked. Yep. So, and Pauline's like maybe 12 in this game.
Yeah. I think they actually confirmed she's either 13 or 14.
Oh, okay.
That's like an official Japanese confirmation.
Okay. I wasn't sure. She didn't seem like a little kid.
Right.
She seemed like.
But it's also always hard when it's like Disney Pixar-ified.
Exactly.
Like you never really know. You just know that they're a prepubescent. Yeah.
And I'm like, and I am really not interested in the. I know I'm just gonna address it now. When she's revealed, she's not wearing shoes. These niggas are gonna do some weird shit.
Y'all could see my fucking face.
Yeah, for real. Like these motherfuckers are gonna do some weird shit, and I'm not excited for that.
But I mean,
whatever, man.
Especially with Japanese shit.
Yeah, I like
the fucking lolicon shit.
Yeah,
it's completely over.
Donkey Kong
just
being Donkey Kong.
Avert your eyes, dog.
Just don't do it.
Let's just not focus on this anymore.
I'm glad mods don't fucking work on the system yet. Because at least stuff
is why we should be able to emulate. I should be able to mod it.
I'm just gonna play it on my Steam Deck.
I'm gonna add this to the nude mod list.
Oh my god, this is why Nexus mods got bought.
The last thing that I thought was funny was DK Artist.
Dude, DK
I didn't really get it, but it's clearly just the Mario 64 reference.
It's the Mario 64ification,
which again ties it firmly to the Mario universe, in fact, identity.
Two of the examples here were a Mario head and a Bowser head.
They also had the cool little bird from DSi.
They did, yeah.
That was cool.
It wasn't Squawks. You're right. It was a bird and the pizza. The pizza looked really cool. I was like, it doesn't look good, but it's like cool that they could make that.
They modeled that.
And then the bust at the end, I was like,
but like, what cool. is it on the title screen? Like, is it a mode? Do you share it? Like, they
didn't clarify that.
It's very weird.
It's just some. Do you have to unlock it?
It was very weird, out of pocket, end of video like reveal. I was like, oh, okay.
That's very tech demoing.
Yeah,
which is like, okay, launch period for the console system's only been out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
As of tomorrow, actually, and then as of tomorrow, since we're recording this. And then, like, launch year is we still have a good 6 months.
Yeah, it's a mouse controls tech demo, basically.
And mouse controls, and I imagine you'd be able to use it with the touchscreen too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So it's like, it's using the deformation system in the game and doing it the other way, where you chip pieces off, you build pieces onto it, and you make things with it, just because this system works and we have the control method to do it. So let's just...
It's like Mario Paint.
Exactly.
It's like DK Paint.
I mean, they called it Donkey Kong Artist, which is like Mario Artist that was on the N64 disk drive.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
So it's totally a callback to all that kind of thing.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like there's a lot of call outs to just like Nintendo 64 style stuff without being outright DK64 or just N64 in general. It's still brand new, still new shit. And I appreciate that Switch 2 is enabling I'm touching it right now. Switch 2 is enabling experiences that feel like just game.
Yeah.
That's part of what I like about Switch, though it's a little harder to notice, but harder to get to that, because once the performance situation starts showing up, you start to think about what you're playing it on. I feel like you don't have that.
I'm also still so, like, two things about that. One, I'm still so fucking thankful they've never added an achievement system.
Yep, I am too.
Playing a game that's third party like Cyberpunk, where as soon as you boot into the game, it's like achievement 1 of 95 unlocked. And you see that and you're just like, it's just a mental burden. It's a mental tax on the game that like collectors and achievement hunters love to do.
Yeah.
To me, it's a mental tax, and I love I'm like you. I like the philosophy of like, just play game, enjoy the offering of the game itself without the meta construct of completion of said game.
Outside of, like, that's the whole nature of the word meta. But outside of the game where people can see it.
Yeah.
It's, even if you hide it, people can still find it.
Right.
And now it's like that's where the conversation ends up almost every time with a lot of games. And people don't understand that's my frustration with it. I've mentioned this before. My frustration with achievements and like people getting platinums and getting all the achievements in Xbox games and shit is that's where the conversation ends up going with a lot of people. Whereas I want to talk about the game, the experiences I had in the game, not the experience I had trying to get.
It.
It's like,
you didn't 100% it, so you don't really like it.
So you didn't platinum it, so you're
not good at it.
It's like whatever you say is invalid. You got to platinum it first and then come talk to me. Like, fuck you. I didn't platinum it because not all the content was worth me doing that, but the parts I like are really good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Rather than rather than I did the tedious fucking gather this thing 800 fucking million times thing.
Which ironically, Zelda Notes app does kind of add achievements.
Zelda Notes adds that, but it does it in such a way that
you
really have to go looking for.
Yeah.
You have to pull out your phone. Like I don't think I've actually used the app in game yet.
I've actually used it. I've used it in master mode because of the meal you get.
Oh, the bonus.
And it actually was really helpful. Yeah. I was doing the part in Breath of the Wild where you collect the shock arrows from the Lino.
Oh yeah.
And I kept getting my ass beat, and I was like, man, let me just see what I get here. And I rolled it, and I got a stealth up. Oh, okay, and as soon as I got stealth up, he couldn't, like, even running around, he didn't know I was there. So I went, grabbed my 20 arrows and bounced. So I was like, oh, that worked really well.
Just tapping your phone a few times.
But so that's the one thing, is like, not having achievements continues to make me very happy and fulfilled with my gaming experience on a Switch, because I don't, like, I'm forced to not think about it.
Right.
I am the kind of person where, like, if achievements are within the path of playing the game, I will probably do them all, and I will probably go out of my way if there's one that's like right there. Yeah. And like I hate myself for it, but I'll still do it. And I'm glad I don't have to like worry about that. Right? Dragon Quest 3 is a perfect example. Yeah. Dragon Quest 3 is a game that I probably would have 100% if I played it on Steam. Mm-hmm. But here, like I got to the end game content and I was like, I don't really kind of feel like doing this right now. And I turned it off and like it's not hanging on you. It's not hanging on me. It's not like I'm incomplete
you don't look at the game on the list and see this fucking like 14 out of 300 shit.
Exactly.
The like on the other hand, sometimes achievements are nice as progress markers. Like
I know progress markers, and also indicating that there might be something you want to interact with.
Exactly. Like
that you didn't know about.
It's if they encourage you to interact with systems that you might not have in the first place, it's like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
If it forces you to grind out a system that you really don't want to engage with, that's different.
Right. I agree.
But like some games, even like the Batman game, Arkham Asylum specifically, I got all the achievements in.
Yeah.
And it was just stuff like glide for this amount of time. Like, oh, I didn't even know I could do that. Cool, I can glide for this. Do all the challenges. I was doing that.
Right.
It's like that shit is natural. That stuff feels good.
I still think that can be done in game. So that's where I don't really buy into achievement systems platform wide.
Right. Like on the
Crosscode has achievements in the game itself. And again, like they're probably tied, but I played it on Switch, so I don't know if they're tied to the I don't have to see it.
Yeah.
But like there's some fun little like inside joke. They're not inside jokes, but it's like in the plot of the game, you're like there's like dungeons because it's like kind of like fake online game.
Yeah.
And you have a friend that does the dungeon at the same time as you.
Okay.
And one of them is like beat your friend in all 3 dungeons. And it's actually missable. So like so if it were an actual achievement on the platform that like ticks and then like you can't go back and do it without doing a new game plus, that feels fucking awful. Bad. But it's kind of funny to have this as like a wink in the game, so it's like, hey,
this is a thing
that we're actually looking at. Yeah, we're actually paying attention if you did this. Like there's a different outcome slightly in the text.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of cool. But going back to my original point about the Switch 2 thus far, not having achievements continues to make me very happy. Mm-hmm. And being a Switch 2 that carries forward all the Switch 1 games, it feels better to buy games on the Switch 2 than it did before because you know that that's carrying over, right? There would always be the case with third-party games where I'd be like, well, I should get this on Steam because I know Steam will have this forever.
And I'll always,
exactly. Any device, any computer, any Mac, getting to the point that we're at. Steam Deck, any Steam operating system machine,
anything that can run Steam, I'm
always going to be able to download it and play it, right? So that's always kind of like hanging over me, and I'm sure many other people that own a Switch and also have some kind of a device that is a PC computer,
right?
But that is slowly fading a bit. Mm-hmm. Again, it'll probably the third iteration, whatever it is,
console,
if
it's a Switch or if it's they call it something different,
will be the real interesting point, because then Nintendo's identity, I think, will fundamentally change. It's like, are they just going to continue to iterate slowly, or are they going to radically do a thing like they've done in the past?
And my hope is it seems like they're bringing your library forward seriously, genuinely seriously, to down like. Not Wii to Wii U kind of thing where you have to transfer your shit, and that's how you get your digital games, and not like a couple of the licenses don't make it over, and they don't play any better. You're literally using Wii hardware that's a part of the Wii U. But
what the fuck was that?
I got a message that just made me laugh. But so like all the stuff you bought on Switch now is coming forward in the software backward compatibility layer, which makes it easier to keep bringing those games forward even to another generation, even if the next console is going to be a hybrid. No way out of that. But if they do something crazy with Switch 3 or whatever the fuck they call it, you'll still probably be able to play those Switch 1 games, at least at Switch 2 level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's great. It's not. It doesn't feel like the thing where I know there's upgrades. There were upgrades on Wii U.
It doesn't feel like I'm just throwing away my money on a potentially worse version that I'm not going to be able to play in the future.
Exactly. And here I can access shit. I can access the new features of the console in those old games. Right. Whereas Wii U, any of the new features outside of no, fuck that. Any of the new features you were basically shut out of outside of playing it on the gamepad, but not even with the controls.
The real end game,
yeah,
which I don't know if it's necessarily a trend yet, but I hope it becomes a trend, is what Cyberpunk did. And it's like, oh, now we have a new port on a new system with new functionality, but cross-platform, cross-progression
with the game that you have on other platforms.
I bought Cyberpunk at launch on my PC.
Yeah.
I could play that launch save file on my Switch 2.
Like from 2020.
Yeah, fucking 5 years later.
Yeah.
Like that's the sweetness right there. Like I will double dip on some games, provided they provide that flexibility.
Yeah, if that flexibility is around, then you get people spending $120 on a single game because I'll buy it twice. Because it's like they now have the option of not having to feel like they're managing 2 copies of the game. It's just the experience somewhere else.
Exactly.
And that's
what I'm about.
And I know that like Nintendo games themselves won't have that, but more third-party games can offer that. And if Xbox games end up on this, I feel like that's the perfect thing. Just let me log into Xbox Live. That's how Minecraft works.
Yep.
I mean, just log into my Xbox account.
Just let me do my cloud shit. I'm never gonna own an Xbox. Just let me play everything on Game Pass.
If the game works locally, but if like the new Perfect Dark comes out and I can play it through Game Pass on this, that'd be very
nice.
I mean, I'm gonna buy it on my PC computer anyway, but it'd be very nice just as an option, even down to something like this will certainly never happen, but just letting me stream a different device to this.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Like, that I good. But
all right, we've gone over an hour now at this point.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy thinking about the fact that it was just a 17-minute Donkey Kong Direct.
Yeah.
But I digress. We still have to go over the State of Play and Xbox Game Showcase, so maybe next week.
And those had their own like nice shit too.
Yeah.
It's just they didn't happen today.
Right.
The timing of those was kind of bad because we were still in
the same week that Switch 2 came
out.
Yeah,
exactly. We had just gotten it. Now we've gotten a little more used to them.
Yep.
So.
All right. So. No Higher fans, probably.
No Higher fans right now, but we'll have a whole day dedicated to Higher fans.
What about the MIG creator?
Get out of here with that shit. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, the idea is sound. I've always wanted to be able to buy a physical game and then play it as a digital copy on my machine. I know why that doesn't make sense from a retail standpoint because they want to make sure you're playing your copy of the game.
Right.
I want to make sure I'm preserving that physical game and not having to carry them all around. But at that point, I just buy it, So that thing is for the collector that wants to, and they had a device to let you rip the games. People are like, oh, you need a homebrew, but you don't necessarily have to have that. They had a method. But at the same time, I need that to be on an official basis. Something like that, especially where you have to click it in to change the game and shit like that. That seems very thoughtless, and it's taking advantage of the people that want something like that without any care to like, they can check. Like they can check. They can check it on Switch 1. They can definitely check. Like they're sharply checking it on Switch 2.
Yes.
It's like
a brand new console that just came out.
Yeah, there's no reason to risk using something like that. You're not rebellious. You're not getting
somebody made a comment
that
I think there is some truth to, where they said that throughout, because Switch emulation became like pretty easy to do somewhat early on.
Yeah.
And the Switch lasted a long time in its generation cycle.
Yeah.
It got a lot of people acclimated to emulating
the idea
Nintendo games.
Yeah.
And with the Switch 2, it is a very different architecture. Yeah. And people don't seem to understand that.
Yeah.
They think Switch 2 emulation is going to be instantly available.
And they think it's going to be on their Steam Deck.
And they think they can do it whenever they want, however they want to do it. And I think they're in for a little bit of a rude awakening.
I think the 8 years of people breaking open the original Switch basically fucked most chances of doing anywhere near the same thing with this one. I think in some ways that's good for the stability of like the online and things like that. Like you're going to get less cheaters, which did exist on Switch 1. You're going to get less weird shit. You're going to get less people shitting on you for not playing Smash Bros on PC, where it's a stuttery fucking mess and it's not actually better. But
it's not 120.
Because in games now you fucking do that shit. Play where it fucking works. I have nothing against emulation. It's just like you gotta be reasonable. It's not gonna be. It's not better. It's just more convenient. That's it.
Yeah, the decompiling, that's where it's at.
Decompiling is where it's at, that's for sure. And I need to see more of that for modern platforms, so these old games can run their best on new ones rather than just an outright.
Let me rip that shit on an ultra widescreen monitor at fucking 144 frames per second and just have fun with the game in a completely crazy experience.
Like, that's fine to me. But yeah, Switch 2 is going to be a weird, an interesting thing to see where like the modding and all that kind of stuff goes, if it goes anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I think Nvidia is probably also like for all their fuck ups with the GPU side on PC, I think they're also like Nintendo's looking at them like, yo, if there's some fucking exploit, you're fucked.
Yeah.
This time.
Yeah.
Like
they're cracking the
whip. We're giving you another chance.
It's also the combination of what we were talking about Switch 1 and the fact that they are on top right now.
Yeah.
Like they can throw their weight around comfortably and know that they're going to be sound. They just sold 3.5 million fucking Switches in 4 days. Like they're going to throw their weight around.
And that didn't include the Nintendo, the My Nintendo Store number.
Right.
So, which is the one Alex is getting actually.
Yeah.
So.
And who knows how many that is.
Yeah. So, okay.
All right.
I think we're good for now. Donkey Kong looks fantastic. I'm excited.
I'm ready to inject it straight into my fucking veins and go into a comatose state for 48 straight hours.
All these fucking bananas.
I'm gonna go Bananza.
John Castillo. All right,
George Castillo.
George, yeah, I said John. I knew I fucked it up. Fuck it, forget that. Edit that out.
If you like our shit, we're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and YouTube. We're at memoryleakpodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, we are not sponsored, but peace.
Okay. I don't think that needs